All right, welcome to our podcast room, which is still a bit of a mess. But this is the commentary for Sunset Drive, the short film that we all worked on, and let's introduce ourselves. I'm Michael DeLano, the director and writer.
I'm Thach. I'm one of the producers.
Tim Denin, first AD.
James Halfacre. I
did everything.
A little bit of this and some of that.
And some of the other.
Basically, our whole lighting crew and photographer.
Yes.
And a bunch of other
BTS
stuff.
photography too.
Yeah, we're just going to watch the film and give some behind-the-scenes insights and whatnot. So anybody want to say anything before we start? Maybe we'll just hit the intro first here.
That's it.
So this is all, the first scene actually was thought up after we had finished principal of photography. Like all of this stuff, I wanted to make an action sequence to really open it up with a bang. Instead of, originally the script was written to just open up with Joe, the older actor, and it was really quiet opening, but just wasn't feeling it. So I went back and shot all of this stuff. And there's Joe, amazing actor. Joseph Lopez. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
it is. What made you open with piano?
Oh, actually had found that, whatever music or theme first, and it was it's kind of like haunting, and then so going from the big action to like the haunting, like he's remembering. That's like it hit because it was like so haunting that he's remembering going back to that. I love that we're paused on my really awful special effects.
That looks good. I like it.
I didn't even...
Came out great.
Did the special effects myself, which
it's really good actually.
We basically just had that bowl, which is a really cool bowl that can't remember if Erica or Elsa made that, but with the idea that the force field from the aliens is he's messing around with that, playing around with that alien tech to do household things besides just being the shield for their house. That whole, and we'll see some more of it, but I think were you there? I don't think you were there. Yeah, all of us were there for the alley scene with Harry.
I was there for the alley.
Okay. Yeah. We shot that first scene with Ryan Connell and Harry Goodwin in the alley in the middle of the night in downtown Long Beach, and that was a really interesting night.
Yeah, it sounded fun.
But yeah, Harry, which now is in The Gentleman, he's like our big star now, like after being in our movie. But
yeah,
who was the director of Gentleman again?
Guy Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, so it's really funny to see Harry in a Guy Ritchie movie and see the behind the scenes stuff, and he's just there chatting with Guy Ritchie cool. and whatever.
Yeah, it's really cool.
But yeah, you'll see later, he took a bunch of slaps for us, and he actually had a huge bruise on his hip from taking the fall in the alley, which you'll see, which I didn't know he was falling that hard, but he was just fully committed to it.
Well, we shot that, I think it was February 2023, right, that scene. I don't think he had auditioned for The Gentleman yet.
No, definitely not. Yeah.
I remember sitting on the curb between takes with Harry, and we were messing around with one of the DSLRs, and then and Harry came from a modeling background since he was discovered when he was 15 playing soccer in England somewhere. And so he's used to high fashion, beauty shots of him. And so when we're doing this shot, he's like, hey, can you take photo? Or we're just messing around with the camera. And then I shot this and he looked really rough. And he's like, yes, that's what I want. I want people to see that I could do rough image and I could be the rough guy. And nobody ever puts me in that. And then I saw The Gentleman. I'm like, that's
tough
I
being
think
that
he's
good looking.
Right? Yeah.
I'm like, I think you manifested that.
Yeah, he was great though. I mean, it's funny because I think for the lighting it was so simple, but you were hiding behind the dumpster, lighting. Yeah.
And then for one part of the shot, I was running with them.
Right, we were all
yeah.
running down the alley together with James had a portable light, and I'm just running backwards with the gimbal. Pretty insane.
Yeah, we were just using that little 9x6.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Did we use a tube for one of the shots?
I don't know if we had the tubes that night. Did we? I feel like you had that.
It might have just
I want to
whatever.
say, I think you did.
Yeah. And then, most of the light in that is, and we'll see more later, but is I mean, that's just for them. But the reflection of just, we had 2 red flashlights in the Alien. Oh, it's not the Alien. It's like they're both attached to a FPV drone, which my son Donovan was flying. And that's giving so much light on the wall. It's like the reflective light coming down the alley. And it's like, looked cooler than we deserved.
Yeah.
So
Great-
much history
great
in that
shot.
alley.
Downtown
yeah.
Long Beach is kind of a little weird in the alleys, anyways.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
No
Who
one thought
came?
anything was off when they
Yeah.
saw it, probably.
Yeah, some-
Those drunk
some-
guy or 2 drunk couples came by, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
like
yeah.
a filmmaker guy who wanted to show
Right.
us his reel. And then Donovan, because he has to wear the goggles to see
Oh,
everything.
yeah,
and he was
yeah.
like, "Can you just like watch my back the whole time?" So I
Totally.
was like security for drone.
We also shot Mitsubishi footage in that alley.
That's
Oh, yeah.
right.
Yeah. Like we
Yeah.
Oh,
parked like
got
for
hurt in
the.
that alley.
Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah. I don't know if you want to tell that story
No,
on
no,
here,
no.
but
No, I mean shortcut is like got mugged in the alley, but there's just been so much like
a lot of history there.
history in the
Yeah,
alley.
for sure. Okay, so Joseph. Why do I keep forgetting Joseph? Joseph Lopez, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Why? I don't know why that.
Because you always say Joe, I think.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's throwing me off. He's just awesome. When we cast for this, we did in-person casting, which was like everyone was like liked because it was like in the middle, towards the end of the pandemic.
It was
or,
October 2020, so it was like breaking.
Oh, that's crazy, right?
Yeah, because we started shooting in April and
The next year.
July, August 2021. So we were casting in October 2020.
Crazy.
So people were doing self tapes for like 6 months, right?
Yeah, so anyway, we got our picks, brought them in, then we did chemistry readings between each of the actors, and that actually like informed a lot of who we cast, because there are actors that I like better on their own than putting them together with different actors, like just changed the entire feel of the whole thing.
Right.
So I learned a lot from casting this. Kristen, awesome. She's like been to quite a few of the festivals that we've gotten into, which is insane how many there are.
She traveled far for this film.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
She
She came from New York. Yeah.
Oh,
Twice,
Oh,
actually.
wow.
We shot this in the desert.
Look, we have commercials. She came, I think she came for the audition from New York. She flew out. And then we had mentioned that it was pretty far. It might be a big effort for her to audition. Can't guarantee getting in, but she really liked the idea of the story.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but then she came actually 3 times. So one time for auditioning, one time for that kind of pre-shoot, pre-principal photography in April, and then we shot in August, I want to say, 2021.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just wondering if I should pull this up on YouTube or Vimeo real quick. I don't know why I didn't do that. Hold tight. I guess we'll edit this out.
How many views do you have on there? 150?
Yeah, it's
105 and 190, I think I checked this morning.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's on 2 different channels?
Well, it's on. I have it on Vimeo private,
Oh.
and then I threw it up on YouTube public though,
Yeah.
which is like been amazing. Like we'll just talk about that while we're doing this. Is like we've been through. I don't even know how many festivals. 31 festivals we got into, which is like completely insane.
And for people who like, I mean, know about making independent films, like you don't get into like a bunch of festivals. I don't think normally, even if you're like, even if it's a super small festival like that people don't know about, it's still challenging to get into because there is actually there's a panel of judges.
Yeah, and like I mean, we did my first short film was Artifact, and I think I got in 2-3 festivals or something like that.
One.
Yeah,
Yeah.
won one of those. But this thing's just been going haywire.
Yeah,
It's
and then
like
I
crazy.
think you submitted in like September or something, and then like got a lot of like all of a sudden October it was like 15
Yeah.
festivals.
Yeah, and just it's been really, really fun. Really fun.
And
yeah.
you got into one in Europe?
Oh, France.
Yeah. So we won like the first round of the Red Movie Awards. So like it's funny, we won the round after this year canned.
It can. It's like
Can.
CAN almost.
So we will be invited to their event next year. So they're
Oh.
having a Cannes event in 2025, which is completely insane. Like
It's
we'll
awesome.
probably have done something totally different by then.
This
But
movie is like 4 years old.
yeah, exactly. So it's like, but yeah, so we won whatever they call it, the winter edition of that, which puts us in the running at next year's award ceremony. So
Do you know
yeah,
what?
yeah.
For Sunset Drive?
Yeah,
For
yeah.
that? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
Do you know what month that is? Because it would be amazing if it was in mid-May.
It is. No, that's what I mean. That's they throw their thing during Cannes.
Oh, that
Yeah.
would be amazing. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a whole gala and everything. So anyway, like it's crazy. Like the festivals we've been in and won, it's been a wild ride and amazing. Yeah.
I mean, I think one of the coolest things was it didn't click for me until a week after it happened. There was like we were in Georgia at a
drive-in theater.
I'm like, that is like amazing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
We're in a drive-in. Your sci-fi movies in a drive-in movie. It's so cool.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I really wanted to go to that one, but I don't know, we had a commercial or something happening at that time.
Yeah.
But
Mm.
yeah, but
And
that
you
was
think
it.
that's sci-fi helps it a bit because we were mentioning before like that. Not a lot of sci-fi things go out on the short circuit. A lot
True.
of horror films,
Yeah,
drama.
A lot of drama.
yeah, true. Yeah, a
So
lot. You're
I
right.
wonder if there's a good kind of thirst for it.
Mhm.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and that's one thing too. Why I've gotten so many festivals because it's like very genre. It's like very either action or sci-fi, and then the
Yeah.
aliens. I mean, yeah. So we're definitely in a niche. But yeah, these two I think had like good chemistry. Kind of got it.
Shit.
Like
Wake up, asshole. I'm present, Frankie.
that it's a couple that's been together forever, still teasing each other.
Women's duties and everything. I'm coming. What?
I like too at festivals watching this live that people didn't really know what to think of this sometimes. Like, oh, where is this going? Like, is he just being a dick or is he like, are they playing around? So this location we had an entire day scrubbed where we went out to a location near, what's the dry lake bed? El Mirage dry lake bed. And Joe got stuck in the sand in his car because Google Maps or Apple Maps, whatever, sent everybody down dirt roads to get to this location.
Yeah.
And so we were still trying to push through the day, but we needed him. So we decided all to go try to dig him out, and then got my car stuck.
Well, it was crazy from my point of view on set. I was like, okay, they're going to come back, right? It's like 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour. And then I was like, dude, I'm a
Yeah.
producer. I need to do this, do something about this. So I'm like going on, looking at like special towing through the sand. And then I was like, why don't we just come out there? And I remember Mike, I think it was a text, like, do not come out here. I'm like, is this a scary movie beginning? And
Well,
then
yeah.
he's like, don't come out here. It's not safe. I'm like, okay, well, do you want to send someone? He's like, we're not splitting up. And I was like, what
Yeah.
is happening?
So where we were stuck wasn't where Joseph was stuck, but where we were stuck, we were next to this big high chain link fence with barbed wire across the top, and I mean I would guess it was a drug lab, and
It was definitely a marijuana.
Yeah.
growing plant. It's
Yeah.
legal out there. now.
yeah.
So.
But the guys who
Yeah,
were
this was before the law.
people came out up on this little hill and were just watching us, and we're trying to wave at them and say, hey, like, come help us, and they were just not budging. And then big
Yeah.
box trucks kept coming in and out, and so we had talked about leaving the car there and going back to shoot, but it was just no,
Yeah.
this thing might not be here when we're done.
That's
No, and it was this soft silt sand, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
I just remember I just remember being on set and I'm like, okay, my DP's going, okay, my director's going, first AD's going. I'm like, dude, did we just take out the camera team? We just took out the camera team.
Yeah, so long story short, we won't go into the location reps on that, but that was a nightmare. And anyway, we scrubbed that whole day because we went out there for 4 or 5 hours. But I think even though that cost a bunch of money, it was for the best because this location, everything you're seeing here with
So
them
much
inside the house, outside and front here, later when he goes to his car is all this same location, and it's amazing.
It's so much better.
Nice.
It would
Very
be
cool.
so different if we had filmed it in the other place.
Definitely.
It would not have the same dimensionality.
I agree. This just made it better. That was like one of those things where the obstacle is the way. It made the whole thing better. We got this really awful review, which I still need to share, from a film festival in Amsterdam. And I mean, he wrote so much. Like, I probably takes as long to read it as it is to watch this movie. So I'm actually, thank you, whoever you are, because you took a lot of time.
International fan.
We should have
And
him on the podcast.
I would love to talk to him, but he went on and on about how we're making like a Honda commercial just because like we didn't cover up the logos on the car, like
Right.
whatever. It's just
Did you?
that's Danelle, awesome. She's like super intense and kills it later. And actually, that is like not Clayton because he had already left. So that's actually Justin walking up the stairs.
Oh,
we switched
what?
it.
Yeah. So like.
Wow.
Because he had already left, but I wanted that shot, and so yeah, that's
Must be weird
Justin.
for Clayton to watch.
Yeah.
Little movie magic,
He never mentioned that.
and that's Justin.
That's the real Justin.
Yeah, Justin Snowball. He's great. There's Clayton. Oh, and that's also Clayton was like last second edition too.
Yes.
Like, we had another actor that bailed on us the day before or 2 days
I think
before.
he was in Australia. He was like, when he got chosen, then he was like, I'm in Australia, and we're like, are you gonna fly back? He's like, I don't think I can make it. We're like, bro. So I think it was like 2 days before.
Yeah, like would have been nice to
And
know.
Clayton was a pretty good choice. Like, obviously,
He was like second, like I
yeah,
think our second
because
choice.
it was pretty
but-
like
yeah.
close.
I think it was like the reason I didn't pick Clayton is because he did great is because the other guy was way smaller and skinnier, and like
Right.
that's how I imagined that character just for whatever reason in my head.
Probably more vulnerable.
Yeah, the other guy was more like kind of scrawny and scrappy, and Clayton's big, like got
He works
muscle.
out just a little bit.
Right,
It's
yeah,
his
exactly.
guns. Like you can see in that scene before. It's
Totally,
just
yeah.
Yeah.
massive.
But I'm glad it went that way because
He was
he's great.
He
I-
did a great job.
Yeah, he did a very
Jumping
good
in.
job.
Yeah.
And it's a good dynamic between these two, with Joe and Clayton right here.
It's not making you eat first, so why don't we just put it down on the table, breathe, we can figure this out. Shut up!
Joe's just gonna be huge at some point. He just like has so much gravitas.
Interesting looking as well.
Oops. I love how he dies here. It's just so like confused.
I mean, he does a good job. Like it's like
Yeah.
if it were to happen to you, that kind of power coming at your chest, like,
Yeah.
it's got to be super shocking and confusing because he was already like as a character confronting something he doesn't know, somebody he doesn't know for the first time in this like new world, and then all of a sudden his life is changing really, really fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah, he did a great job in shock.
I think so too. He kind of has this like. Well, what would be if you got surprised like that? Just like this little note
Yeah.
of confusion.
Because
there.
that could have gone really wrong. Like
Oh,
you would lose the
yes.
audience right there if that death scene was not like
Mhm.
so strong.
I agree. Yeah. And like all airsoft guns, I added all the things. So that was like I think one thing people were confused by because when I first wrote this and this location kind of didn't make sense for this was like there's a shot where it's sundown and you see like a big like farm. It's like farmhouses and like you see the shields, these orange shields going up as the sun goes down over each farmhouse. So we never get that because there's so many trees around this house. It just wouldn't have made any sense. So we lose that, and that was kind of to explain that like they need a shield after dark to keep the aliens from killing them, basically. So what these guys are doing is they took their power supply. It's like an alien power supply they use for the shield.
Which is the same technology in the vault.
Exactly. Oh, the bad reviewer said I had a horse fetish.
I hope you say nay. Thank you.
Wait, so he said the Honda is a Honda commercial, but doesn't say anything about the Mustang?
Yeah, he just said I have a horse fetish.
Wow.
Back up before the sun goes down.
Be quick. Meet you back at the asylum.
So this is kind of like lines that like line up with the flashback, so it's a little bit backwards than, usually it's like, yeah, whatever. There's Zach driving the Honda, and my direction to him is like, I want you to come around this corner like you don't know how to drive fast, and he did such a good job. Yeah. It's just all over the place, which is great.
Yeah.
And then these two, it's so funny because people like, I think we've heard this, you've heard it too, that people like either love Justin Snowball in this role or hate
What?
him.
Interesting.
Wait. I want to know about the hate thing, because that, like...
I clarified with two people said they hated him, and I'm like, do you mean like
Yeah.
the actor or the character? And it was the character, which is good.
Why?
Is good. Yeah.
I thought
But that's good. That's,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
great.
That's interesting, because maybe because I had read it and, like, have met him personally, but, like, I don't get the hate part.
Yeah, no, well, I think it's just because, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because he's like,
Like, what are... Like,
the dynamic between the
Yeah.
two of them,
Yeah.
or...
Yeah, because, like,
He's
what are...
brought them into this kind of.
Yeah. Okay, because I think, like, one of the things when you're the audience member and you have nothing to do with the project, you bring your own speculation to the whole thing. So, do they think he was, like, the mastermind character?
No, I don't know what it is, actually.
Hmm.
Just, that I don't know.
Just
He
wanted
just a
someone to
vibe.
hate, yeah.
That's just two people. Most people have said like they love these two, especially like just like their dynamic. I've heard that many times, but
Okay.
and it's funny because the whole thing's her fault. Like,
Yeah.
God damn it, we're gonna die.
Your idea, Ash. Fuck.
oh, and then just to point out like how her jacket disappears and appears because
I totally didn't notice that.
She took it off at different points in the lines. So it's on and off in the wrong spot. And there's Emile Beret, who came out for free and did our stunt driving. Just epic, so
How do you know
talented. We were trying to pitch a show together a while back and then just kept in touch over the years, yeah. So all of this stuff, the interior car stuff, we got a process trailer, which is the first time we got to use one, where you put the car onto a trailer and strap it down, and then you have this little like walkway on the outside of it to put lights or whatever. And
Railing, rigging,
yeah.
Yeah.
bounces.
It was just like a really simple light setup. I think we just had one light
On the truck, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Shining
just
off the truck.
shining
Yeah.
on the truck, just blasting right in their face, just to keep their faces like kind of consistent. And same
Yeah.
thing with Joe. Yeah.
I feel like the first time, it's for our first time using it, I think totally patting ourselves on the back here, but I think we did a good job because we've seen shows where we're like, dude, this is so fake.
Yeah, totally.
Like you're totally on something. The car is totally on something. The
Yeah.
actor doesn't even look like they're driving, and you're concerned, like, are they gonna hit something if they're actually driving?
And the other thing I wanted to try to do, which this truck let us do, was do 99% of the film in handheld. I wanted it to be like a real old school action movie and like the camera's just always floating or moving. So I think the only shots that might be on a tripod are like the first quiet scene with the older couple. So that was awesome. Is like, I don't know, this is all handheld camera work while they're driving.
Yeah.
Which is fun. So
So I have a question, and I'm not sure because it's been a while since I've seen it, but like, you know how you're always having the windows down to shoot into, but you don't really like hear it on the mic like too much.
yeah. He did a great job. But I did cut around on one of the sides. There's like we had a gel or something. We had something flapping a little bit. But there was enough lines that it wasn't, that I was able to piece it
Yeah,
together.
because I was gonna say, I'm like, I feel it sounds really clean.
Yeah. Like he did great job, especially
Jose.
Oh yeah, it was Jose.
I
Yeah,
don't remember Jose's
with the
last name.
poncho.
Yeah, we'll have to put a link in
I think
the
he had,
description.
Yeah, he was running
Yeah.
multiple microphones.
Yeah,
I still
Yeah,
want my
they
he's
have
poncho.
gear
Jose.
and yeah.
And it was our first time working with him. I think I had put down a post somewhere, and then like he answered it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He was great. He was great. Yeah. So you can do shots like that, you know, outside the car. She shoots herself. And then the costumes are all Elsa Estrada did like all these like kind of post-apocalyptic-ish things with all the distressing and everything. It just looks awesome. Looks kind of natural-ish, but also a little Mad Max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe if we weren't all the way into Mad Max Future, just dialed it halfway back.
We're on our way there.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
gotta say, like, going for costume is super, like, from my view, super low maintenance. Like, you show a reference, she'd make it, she's mailed it over, done.
Yeah, no, she's great. She's great.
I think she made a video to show us how to put it on.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then all the music is like stuff I found on either Artlist or Soundstripe, and just kind of scored the whole movie with just different songs. I think there's probably like 15 songs in this thing or something like that, or pieces of music.
But all this stuff looks great in the car chase.
Yeah.
Where are you getting the sound from with the, like...
Yeah, so it's funny because like I think we went and recorded. Were you there that day too
Yeah,
for
yeah,
the Mustang sound? We did that in the garage.
Okay.
But then there's a bunch of Acura NSX sounds in here too.
Sweet.
So there's both. It's
You're
the Mustang.
welcome, Amsterdam.
Yeah, Mustang sounds and then NSX sounds.
Separated, or you mixed it in
Mixed
together?
it together. Like,
Oh, wow.
so I had some pass-bys from the NSX. We did a bunch of static stuff
Yeah,
with the
some, yeah.
Mustang where we were doing revs, and so I'd have revs and then a pass-by or all kinds of
Yeah.
different stuff.
So
yeah.
eventually it'll sound like the T-Rex from
Yeah,
Jurassic Park.
exactly.
Maybe we should pitch ourselves for Jurassic 4.
Too
And
late.
No.
And this is another great death. Like, just the dead eyes are
Mm.
just so creepy.
Oh yeah, throughout this scene, it was 3 makeup changes.
Oh, right, because
Right,
he's
'cause-
bleeding,
yeah.
and then,
Yeah.
yeah.
And do we do it out of order, or do we do it chronologically?
I feel like we tried to do it in order because,
Because of stepping back, so we tried to
Yeah.
add to it because of time.
right,
Yeah, because
exactly.
did we film this in one day? Because we only had a
Yeah.
process trailer for
Right.
one day.
We did so
We were
much
pretty
that day.
we were pretty aggressive. I mean, it was like our first time, and I think you guys did the runs a few times, and then every like it was like 2.5 hours we had a makeup change, and then we had like film again, take a break, makeup change.
Right.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
3
Yeah.
makeup changes, and Justin's too. Well, no, not Justin, just hers. Yeah.
Hers.
Yeah. Because did we do the showdown, the next part? Was that on a different day? That was the same day, right?
That was the same day.
It's
Yeah.
crazy how much
Yeah.
we shot that day. Like, crazy.
Highly
moving
efficient.
fast,
It was really
definitely.
highly efficient. Yeah, no, we had to because we had CHP.
Yeah.
And we could
Yeah.
only do it when CHP was there.
Right.
So they were there for one day with us.
Yeah.
Why do I think we were up there for 2 days? We were there just one.
We did
We
some
went
pickup
back up.
shots.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
went.
these
We
guys
went
went
out.
back and done some pickup stuff.
Oh,
with
I know.
Donovan.
It's because
Yeah.
we did the house the day before, right?
Yes, we did.
That's why it felt like
Yeah.
so big.
We do some drone shot, or did we just? No,
Didn't you
no,
have
that
the
was
red eyes
all.
stuff up there or something.
You did do the.
Yeah.
We went back up twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went back up there twice. We went back up and shot car mount stuff for the Mustang. Like, you see a lot of the shots at the beginning of the road and the back tire and all that stuff.
Were we at the house for 2 days, guys? Because I remember someone sleeping at the
We
house.
did, yeah.
were there
Because
for
to the house, yeah.
Colin
No.
stayed at the house, or the other
Adam, the other
Yes.
PA.
Someone
yes.
slept there, didn't they?
PA.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Because he
Okay,
got
so
stuck
we-
because the gate locked behind him or whatever.
Right. So
Yeah.
what was it? Was it prep or was it 2 shoot days? It was 2 shoot days, right?
It was. Let me think. Because were we out? Oh! Because the stuff in the bedroom. So we had the kitchen out front, and then we had the bedroom.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why. Because
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
all
yeah.
kind of similar. It was just like a big. I don't want to say it was a big blur, but it was just so
Oh, we
much
did
intensity.
so
it becomes
much.
a
It
blur,
was-
doesn't
So
it?
much.
Yeah.
It was like 3 days of high intensity focus because we're shifting to a lot of scenes and a lot of like setups.
Yeah.
And then like we're doing stunts in this and we're bringing on like new people. So they're every like 3 or 4 hours, it was like a new configuration
Yeah.
of crew. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. It was a lot. It was a lot. Good job, you guys.
Thanks.
So that was Zach doing his little spin out.
Slow it down, motherfucker.
That's the like car mount shots we did on the pickup days.
Oh, that was me driving.
Exactly.
Nice stuff.
Thanks.
Justin has such a good look. He should just be,
Dude, I think
In
Justin,
action movies.
I personally think Justin's going to blow up.
yeah.
Ever since his audition.
Drop it! Get down to the fucking ground! On your ass! Drop it!
And we shot all this so fast. I wanted to shoot it all at sundown, and you could see it's all at sundown.
This whole situation, I think, was like 40 minutes because I remember the
Yeah.
CHP where we like told the CHP we're about to film this and they made a joke where we said, hey, just we're letting you know there's a what did you call it? It's a
non-operational firearms. We had the airsoft guns.
Yeah, so we told them that on the walkies, and the CHP was like joking, do you want to use ours? And that's when I was like, okay, now we're starting the scene.
Yeah.
And then I timed it because I'm thinking like every 3 to 10 minutes they're supposed to like.
Let traffic through.
And they didn't for 45 minutes. And I'm thinking sun's about to set and they haven't done
Yeah.
anything yet. And like, wow, we're getting some really good shots. And like, is there no traffic here ever?
Thank you,
Yeah,
CHP.
well, it was kind of a quiet road. Yeah, they
Yeah.
were doing a good job.
It was, yeah. That's why we picked it. So it's a road up at the top of the hill by Temecula that just has an off-road park at the end of it. There's some houses and stuff, but it's very light traffic. That's the entire reason we picked it.
Yeah.
Well, and then we were done, and then we told them we were done, and then they let traffic go, and there was like 50
So
cars that went through.
because they were holding it for a long time. Yeah, but yeah, like this it was really fun to shoot, and both of these guys just had some chemistry. I love like them playing off each other here. And just Joe nailed this like reluctant, he's like obviously needs to save his own family, but doesn't necessarily want to kill this kid. I hear the aliens for the first time.
Sounds like they're hungry, huh? They're up and about. You're gonna need your
And then the shield generator is literally one of those bank teller things you'd go to the drive-through at the bank, old school.
Yeah.
And Erica and Elsa
It's not right.
put this cool like little glowing coil inside of it, and it's all battery operated, so it's like has this like natural in scene glow. So cool.
There's a take that you have here, like where he like cusses when he walks away.
Yeah,
After
yeah.
this, sorry.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Well, there's a take where he says like, why isn't anyone ever fucking listening to me? And I'm like, oh my god, I hope that makes it. And it doesn't. And I'm always like bummed out. I'm like, is this like one of those moves where you don't want to go super R-rated?
Oh, but I didn't care about that. Like, I don't know why I didn't pick that one. Like, I think it was because in my mind, like, that line was tied to another improv that Joe did earlier or later. And so he brought it back around here, which was great. But I cut the other reference to it. So in my mind, it's just like out of nowhere. It doesn't make any sense.
Sure.
But it works. It totally works because it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I cut the other part, so I think I was trying to minimize it. That's probably what happened.
Oh, because I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm always like bummed because I've watched that, because I'm watching it in real. I'm like, I hope that's the take. It's just because it's so, he's like so frustrated in that take.
Yeah,
He's like, what the
totally.
fuck?
Yeah.
This didn't have to happen. I told you from the beginning, this didn't have
the
to happen.
reluctance shows for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think he threw out that line during the confrontation with Clayton. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's so funny because I just know all the actors and doing the festival stuff and whatever, calling them by their real names. I don't even remember their character
Their
names.
character names, yeah.
Yeah, the guy who got shot.
Actually,
Exactly.
we do go back and forth, yeah.
Would have been different a long time ago. We're right. We're wrong. Ain't what it used to be. It ain't what it used to be.
Man, these guys are so great in that moment.
Yeah.
Just so great.
Not now.
And we flew through shooting this. I remember just like running around,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
do another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
like
running, getting stuff reset.
Yeah,
They were like,
I mean,
resetting
for
so
sure.
quick.
Jose was amazing during this because he had to like go run backwards while he had the boom. He had to go backwards, but like not make noise with his like feet on the
Right.
dirt, and like he kept yelling at us, which was great because that means he was really good. He was like, "Guys, stop moving." I could hear everybody. We were like within like a 15 to 20 feet radius.
Yeah, because it's the gravel. We're all on the gravel.
Yeah,
that's
we're all on
why.
the gravel.
Yeah,
Gravel side,
and he
yeah.
was constantly trying to be quiet. I think just going backwards
Yeah.
and trying to also. Did you have someone who was a safety?
Yeah, someone was it?
Yeah, so you were walking with the camera backwards. I was holding a light
Yeah.
over the top just to give a little more light to him as it
Yeah.
got a
Right.
little bit darker. Trying not to shuffle our feet as we
Yeah.
walked backwards.
It's
So,
crazy.
Yeah, it was definitely a choreographed.
Yeah.
But it was.
Highly-
I'm so impressed with everybody because
Yeah.
like we would literally like there was not even like 1 second between takes. I would be like,
No.
and we're going again.
Yeah,
and
no,
we
we
go
ran,
back to
Joe
one. It
ran,
was just-
everyone ran.
Everybody
like-
was impressive.
and
like,
it was
like Jacqueline was our first AC was amazing because like she was always ready. She was always checking the batteries, and she was always checking her monitor batteries, and always checking I think your batteries and the storage. And she was, because it was like you never know how much of a run we're gonna get.
Yeah.
So she was always having it like ready.
And to her credit also, I'm glad you brought that up because I shot this entire thing on the Z cam. Well, not all of it. There's other cameras mixed in, but
We had
most of
5
it's
cameras.
on the Z cam with mini anamorphics and almost always shooting almost wide open. Like I have 2, 3 like
Right.
f-stops. And editing this, there's almost like no bad takes. Like there's
Yeah.
almost no
Yes.
focus buzzes. Like
Yeah.
I don't like it's incredible.
I was saying that to her actually. And by the way, when I said 5 cameras, it wasn't at the same time ever.
yeah.
We just like over the whole principal photography. But I actually mentioned it to Jacqueline. I'm like, this is really amazing because there's some pretty fast, like continuous takes here.
Yeah.
And like you never get distracted by where the focus is.
Yeah, totally. We definitely have to take a moment for this stunt. So Emile Beret again, who's insane stunt driver. So the first, I think maybe did we do this 3 times? Maybe
At least, yeah.
Did you do this one that many? I thought this was
maybe
like,
2, right?
Just
No,
I
it
thought
was-
this was one. No, I thought this one was like just a one take wonder. This one. I
No,
got a
it's
feeling-
definitely-
Was it 2?
2 because the first time he spun around, no dirt. It spun
That's
around
right,
and
yes,
went.
and then the second one, yeah.
So
Yeah,
then
so 2.
I'm like, got it. So it was going to be one and done
Yeah.
because I was like, we got it. Let's move
Yeah.
on because we're just like hauling ass. And then Emil's like, you know what would be cool is if I just dumped 1 tire into the dirt.
Right.
And then you get a bunch of dust and then go. But like, I'm like, yeah, because like right there is just a huge drop off. Like
Yeah.
if he misses it, the whole car is going down the hill basically. But then he got back in the car and he did this. It's just like, yep.
This was amazing.
Yeah.
And that is awesome.
And I remember we were watching this with like, you know, heart was in the mouth kind of thing.
Right?
And when he done it, we got out and had a look, and everyone was like, "Whoa, you know, close to the edge." And I just remember him saying he looked all cool as Emile is. He just went, "Well, that's what you asked me to come and do, wasn't it?"
Were you? And he was only there for like 2 hours.
Yeah, he just
Yeah.
came and did the driving stuff and then
Yeah.
We
the one
accomplished
spin
a
out.
lot that day.
That's crazy, right?
Freaking profit. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So we went back later, and Donovan, our drone pilot, and my son, like, did a bunch of FPV shots of me driving the Mustang, so we could kind of amp this up a little bit. Just like.
Actually, sorry to correct you. I was driving.
Oh, was he driving that?
I was
Were you?
driving.
Oh, nice.
was gonna
But
say-
James
I
is
thought
driving.
that driving was.
I got to get my props.
I was gonna say, how did you coordinate this with walkie-talkies or like?
No, just did it.
Okay.
And then there's more car mount
So
shots.
you should have been stunt like
Yeah, totally.
like listed on the stunt
You
team.
could have been the stuntman stunt double.
Oh,
So if we
yeah.
didn't have this podcast, we wouldn't have known.
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
forgot.
Some
Nice work,
secrets
James.
are best kept.
Yeah, gotcha.
But yeah, a bunch of this car stuff, second unit stuff, is just kind of us. That was us back up there. This is us. We poured goo all over the alien and got some close-ups. And there's just literally just, we cut. So Elsa Estrada created this whole alien, which is insane because all I asked her to do was like, we just need like, you know, this little creature that's furry and maybe it's got like some tentacles on the front or whatever.
Right.
She makes this whole thing. I wish we had like a shot of it. It's like, I don't know, probably like 2 feet tall, 2.5 feet tall,
Yeah.
huge tentacles off the front, glow, like the eyes weren't glowing, but
Teeth.
red eyes, teeth, like this kind of round.
Called Louis.
Louis, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, when I picked it up, I wasn't expecting, I know she's like great, but I was just like, holy shit.
She was amazing because
Yeah.
like it was like a little bit of direction, and then we didn't really have to fix anything.
Totally. So like when I had the idea that the aliens at night would be played by, because I wanted them to move. I didn't want them to just be sitting there. That a drone would play the aliens. Like then we went back and we cut holes in the alien and put just 2 red flashlights for the eyes. And so then what we were able to do is, I think Ryan Connell and you and I and Candace and Donovan went out and just were out in the field holding red flashlights as we
In
drove
the
by in the
bushes.
car. Yeah. So like you'll see later, like everybody got to play the alien just basically running through the field with 2 red flashlights, which totally worked. But
Nice.
anyway, this is literally just like the red flashlight, like, and just was able to even just film it straight on, which like is crazy.
Was there enough alien for you in this, or did you wish that you had like put more?
Oh, I would love to have more, almost like Sam Raimi style, like point of view, more alien point of view, especially on the road. Like we did that in the alley where the alien's chasing them and it has kind of this kind of red thing. But I would love to have more of that. I would, if we had proper aliens, yeah, I'd love to like be able to see them kind of like quickly going through the bushes and
Right.
stuff. In the script, I have them like coming out of the road and hitting the car and blood splats all
Yeah.
over it. We just couldn't do any of that. We tried and it just didn't work. We did this, bloody tentacle throwing it at the windshield and it just could never get it right. Like,
Yeah.
We did a
So-
run over the tentacle.
we did, that worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's in there.
So-
And that actually worked really well.
So when
Yeah.
you're an indie film, you're also the special effects team.
Yes, totally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stunt driver, special effects.
Yep. And then its sound effects are just everything.
Yeah.
And then going into the flashback, the whole idea was like to show more of their relationship. That's Brittany. I also think Brittany's going to be huge. Like she's just got like, and there's Harry with the short hair, and that's kind of the thing showing that, that's him younger. This is the first thing we shot, right?
This was,
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the
It
very
was.
first thing we
It's
shot.
like March 2021.
Yeah.
Downtown Long Beach.
Downtown Long Beach, yep. So this is like showing them before the aliens come. He's in the feature film. He is like going to leave. Everyone is getting drafted to go fight the aliens. They're just starting to show up in different areas. So, but no one thinks it's a big deal yet. So and I didn't want to do it's really vague because I didn't want to do the news report thing. It's
Right.
so cliche.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just a couple of lines hinting that he's going to be gone for a while and all of that. So. And like Harry was just like, just hit me, just slap me, and he took them all. Like I don't know how many times he got slapped that day. A lot.
It was heard around Long Beach, those slaps.
Yeah. But here it's like funny. It worked out so well. But here's Harry with like the longer hair. And when we went to shoot the alley stuff, which was a lot later, he had buzzed his head. And I'm like, I don't know. He went to fight the
totally
aliens in
I
the
think it
military.
works.
Yeah.
Boom,
Gives
done.
another level to the film
Yeah.
of time. For sure.
It's like, oh no, I mean, we had the budget to have him cut his hair.
So the first screening that we had at AMC, that was really cool. And my best friend came to the screening and she like hated this scene. She's like, I don't really like the characters, super abusive to each other. It's like toxic relationship. And I was like,
Yeah.
didn't even think about it that way at all.
It's so funny because that was probably what I was most concerned about going into the festivals was this scene. And people are just like, oh, they're like Bonnie and Clyde. Like no
Right.
one ever, and I wouldn't expect it because people always say really nice things at festivals, but like that slap just silences the theater. It's so
Yeah.
cool to see in the theater with a bunch of people. Like when we were, I don't know if it was Chandler or if it was, what's the
Zed?
Culver
Oh,
City.
Culver.
Zed was just a funny festival.
Yeah.
I mean, Zed Fest is awesome, but it
Yeah.
was just like,
Different crowd.
well, yeah, just because it was like, it's very, very genre, very,
Yeah.
very like sci-fi, a lot of old school horror, and
And
like,
very, very late.
yeah, it went so
like a
late.
slumber party
It was
festival.
so late. Yeah, it was a late
Yeah.
night. But I think it was Culver City or Chandler, whichever one.
Probably Chandler.
Where it was like both of those had like pretty full theaters, and like that slap hits and everyone's like kind of like reacting to this whole scene, and then it's just like nothing.
Well, what's interesting, do you guys remember on set, like you guys were on that day, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember when like you're like go for it and you're behind Harry and like or was it, I don't know, one of them was like super hard and you're like, whoa, that was brutal. I know this is not
Yeah.
real. I know it's not real, but like
Yeah.
that's really scary.
Yeah, from the angle, it
Yeah,
just
it looks
looked really good.
super
yeah.
scary.
And then
Yeah.
with like the sound effects, it's just like,
I think,
yeah, but like I mean, I don't know if anybody else heard anything, but I expected to hear some negative feedback, but like I think people.
I did really about
Me
this.
either.
I mean, it's so tense and it makes sense what they're doing, and people have got their ways, you know. So
Right.
he's not just giving her a "Where's my dinner" slap kind of thing, you know.
Yeah,
And I remember when we were doing this as well, I was doing sound that day.
poor Tim.
And then
Yeah.
Dean, who was DPing it, awesome dude, was helping me check it out. And this apartment was one of those new builds, wasn't it? So it's just echoing everywhere and just everything was bouncing off. And because we
Wow.
didn't have our sound person
Yeah, yeah.
properly. And,
well,
yeah,
you did a great job.
There's
It was stressful.
there's a
Yeah.
behind the scenes shot that I took
The
of you
James
guys.
stick.
And, and
Yeah.
the two of you just look miserable sitting on the ground
Yeah.
floor just trying to hear it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, why was it stressful for you? I mean, I know the sound's bouncing, but like, what was it? Was it
Because
constantly
it's
like?
the sound, and if it's no good, then
Yeah.
it's
Car
no
noises
good. Yeah,
and
car
air,
noises and everything.
plane
you know.
noises.
Right, because
So
you
you're getting
like.
someone else
Yeah.
to double check it just because you want to make sure, you know. So.
It looks like a war photograph of you and Dean checking the
Yeah,
sound.
it was
It's
a
just
good
like,
picture. It was- yeah,
We
it's
should
really good.
find
Well, that's
and
what I-
print that.
we should print that. That's
Yeah,
my
yeah,
favorite.
that
I
would
think
be-
that's my favorite BTS of the movie.
Totally blow it up.
Yeah,
It's
we
like
should
the
do that.
caption
Yeah,
I
yeah.
put was like either Tim and Dean attempting to capture sound in a noisy apartment in the city, or hostage negotiators just heard the hostage got shot.
We
That's
should
how intense
totally-
it
We
looks.
still sold DVDs. They would have been inside
Yeah.
the box of the postcard.
Some of the
Totally.
BTS needs to be blown up because I don't think the size like
Yeah, totally.
shit. But this scene, like I had seen it, like I had seen this on the small screen maybe 3 times before we watched it in the theater. And then like for people who haven't watched, I won't give away the ending, but this scene has a payoff later, and it was not my reaction and my friend's reaction was not what I expected because I didn't have the same connection until I saw it in the theater.
Yeah,
Like it's just different.
it is. It's like
Yeah.
it gets really intense after that. Like yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a famous like shot from Gilda, I think, where she's like throws her hair around. It's like it's a 50s movie. I think the character's name is Gilda. I'm trying to remember who the actress is, but anyway, like that's what I was going for there with the hair, like the classic Hollywood
Oh,
hair
then
flip.
you did a good
Right.
job. Totally. Wait, you told her to do that? I didn't
Yeah.
remember that.
Yeah. And then back
This
to
was
the
challenging.
Real
The
cigar, that
cigars
was the
were
prop ones didn't
challenging.
work.
Yeah.
Because like we also had to manage continuity for the cigars, and we had like I think we had the new cigars right at her foot,
Yeah.
and then we had like a partially used one at her foot. So we were constantly like,
Yeah.
wait, which take is this? Is this like
Totally.
So we had to go back and forth between those. Like,
Yeah, because we were doing the whole scene all the way through to get the momentum, and so she would have to like mid scene go from like long cigar
Yeah,
to
Harry
short.
would light them, wouldn't he? And then pass
Yeah,
them across.
exactly.
Yeah.
Now she smokes cigars.
Yeah, exactly. And then we had to figure out how to, because she slaps the cigar out of his face, and
Yes.
it's like we didn't want her to get burned or him or start the place on fire.
So we had a third one.
Yes, exactly. It's just crazy. That's crazy. It's crazy. Like you don't. I forgot about that,
Yeah.
but that was a whole
The
thing.
workaround.
No, I
That's a
remember
whole
standing
thing.
there like managing like, okay, that's the one
Yeah.
that's about to be thrown. That's the one that we got to make sure it doesn't burn the place. That's the one that like, please don't step on because it has to look new.
Yes, totally. And I'll say like Autumn did our makeup, and like it just kind of looks flawless all the way
Yeah.
through. She did all the blood and everything, and it just all looks great.
And the
Kinda
hair.
Yeah, the hair. Like it's basically like one of those things that you don't notice because it's just good. And so props to our makeup artist.
She can do anything.
Yeah.
She's done like all types with us: music video, commercials,
Well, tons of photo shoots with me, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Yeah.
indie films, and a
Yeah,
lot.
super talented. Special effects makeup, regular makeup, hair. Yeah, awesome. More aliens. This is just us. Like us out in the field, just handhold a bunch of stuff. There we go, back into one more flashback. And this, I cannot believe the sound came out on this. This
Dude,
was
can we talk about the sound? Can we talk about the sound in this scene?
insane. Like how noisy it was at this cemetery. I'll let this kind of play through as we go. But like we went to cemetery in Long Beach, and
Oh, this is the wrong cemetery, by the way. We got permits. Apparently, there's two cemeteries right next to each other. We went to the wrong one. Like they're literally divided by the fence.
like a tiny fence. Like,
That's-
Right.
yeah.
That you can walk through.
Yes,
It's not like a
totally.
This
solid
is right
fence.
next to
Yeah.
a main road, a busy main road.
But we
as
didn't
well.
even. How long were we there? Like 6 hours, 8 hours?
Yeah, maybe.
We didn't
yeah.
know we were filming at the wrong cemetery until the last like 30 minutes, and then we paid off the guy. Like I think you gave him $100
Yeah.
cash. Like, can you just let us
Just
film
hang
for
for
30
a minute.
minutes?
Yeah. Because he was closing up and he's going to lock
Right.
us in, and we're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then we figured out we were at the wrong place.
Yeah.
The whole day.
And we could have
That's
made
so
a teen
awesome.
horror.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I think this simple lighting setup, it just had a big bounce in front of them. And I just loved shooting it just right into the sun. I love this shot with Harry.
This is
like,
Z-cam.
yeah, this
With
is
the
all
Coke
Z-cam.
lenses.
No,
Oh,
they're the anamorphics.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This was beautiful. Like
The Vasden, I think, something like that. Anyway, yeah, like it's just so simple, but it's just there at the right time of day. Like,
Yeah, it all looks like, and that green with
Yeah,
the orange,
right?
yeah, really nice. Yeah.
And you wouldn't know through the whole dialogue that there was ambulances. And we're not like
Yeah.
exaggerating when we said it was like every 3 to 5 minutes. This is Long Beach. Like
Yeah.
everyone, when there's an emergency.
totally.
Every 3 to 5 minutes there's an ambulance or a cop.
Apocalyptic
Yeah.
Foley for free.
And I feel like this, these guys just look like movie stars in this scene, right? Like
Yeah.
they're just got like whatever it is, they just have it.
I mean, because you didn't put like filters on this, like when you were grading it. Did you even do that much grading?
I definitely graded it, but
Yeah.
not,
Like, you
I'm
didn't
only
have
so
the
good. I'm not that great of a
Like
colorist.
you're not,
so.
yeah, because everything looks good. Their skin, all these things.
Yeah, so like, and then I guess what I wish is like, once we were done, I wish I would have written this dialogue a little bit differently to tie it into the story a
I
little
love
bit
this
stronger.
transition. This is one of my
thanks.
favorites.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
really
that's a
like
good
this
one.
I love thinking of this stuff beforehand. Like, I think even might have had that in the script, but like,
Right.
I don't know. That's what just makes them, to me, makes feel like a movie that you've thought about it beforehand, and there's like transitions from one scene to another that like Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
feel-
your transitions are like a commentary of the relationship,
yeah,
circumstance of the
yeah,
relationship.
yeah. Okay, let's see. What do we got next?
I have a question about
Yeah.
this one.
Go
You know
for it.
how like he almost seems like he's smiling, and I don't know if it's like joy or like what is your interpretation as the director, like that keeping that expression in.
Yeah, the idea behind it was to that he's fondly remembering. Like he's got to get back to his wife, who he's trying to get back to put the shield up, and so he's just fondly remembering these crazy memories of her, like basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Simpler times.
Yeah. Any thoughts on that, or like?
No.
Okay. So here's. Yeah, probably Ryan, James, or Donovan.
Or Donovan.
Are you guys
Yeah.
on a hill or something?
Yeah, just out in the same road.
Same
We're just
road,
like out
still.
off the side of the road. And then just flashlight with a streak filter. But yeah, look at this. Look at this
looks
thing.
good,
Like
yeah.
look at the alien. I'll put
Oh,
the
the
photo up
texture.
of that. But just
Yeah.
Yeah.
once we put the goo on it, and it's like these are
Yeah.
just like sunflower seeds.
Was that what they were?
Yeah. Right.
Oh, wow.
The
Okay.
teeth, and like it's just like so impressive. But it's kind of like in the vein of Alien, trying to keep it mysterious, and like so you kind of
Right.
know what they look like, or not really. Yeah.
Didn't A Quiet Place do a pretty good job of that too, where it's like you don't really see anything for the
Yeah.
longest time?
It's like keep it menacing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So anyway, and someone else out there off the side of the road with a couple flashlights and sound effects. There we go, running over the alien.
It took us a few times to get that to look right.
Yeah.
I wanted this scene to be a little longer.
That one, me too.
Like
yeah.
I wanted everything to feel even more like an army and overwhelming.
Yes.
Like I even if you were just gonna do the whole thing slower, I just kept thinking, that would be cool if it was just longer.
Well, on that one too, like that shot right there, I wanted like 100 of them.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? I just didn't want to spend the time on trying to recreate it digitally.
Yeah.
And it's literally, I think, like, I don't know, maybe it's Donovan and Candace, or you.
I
and
think Donovan's
Ryan.
flying. I'm driving.
Oh, so it's like
I think it's
Ryan and Candace.
Right.
Like, and if you look closely, even in the shot in the movie, you can see one of them. Like,
And I think the challenging thing now I think about it, because I'm like, that should be longer, but it's like we didn't have meetings in post. We were
Yeah.
like working on like actual client stuff.
Yes, totally.
And it was like when it wasn't like touch and go, but I felt like whenever you really had a moment, you had to push to like go through post. It wasn't like we're paid 40 hours,
Yeah.
40 hours a
Right.
week or whatever, 60 hours a week to like make these decisions about the scene.
Totally, yeah. And like I think I would have, the whole car thing was supposed to be like this almost audio montage of like just things hitting the car and alien sounds and all of that stuff, but changed a little bit just when we got to the practical. Big old bass drop. There's Harry with his buzz cut.
Yeah.
Now we're back to this scene. Just trying to get a big build up before the ending. There's Dana. We made a movie with her called Reflect. You should check that out. It's out
Yeah.
already.
It's on Apple.
Tubi.
Yeah,
Amazon.
and Tubi. Yeah. Anyway, she was writer director, and then she came out, which was very nice to do this scene.
She
with
actually won
Brittany.
like Best Actress.
Yeah, she did get a Best Actress.
She got a Best Actress for this like few
or nominee.
moments.
Yeah, nomination.
Great.
Yeah. And there's just at Long Beach,
And there's a dog.
and there's Ryan and Harry running down the alley. They did that like 100 times.
Yeah.
The shield generator. Ew.
Yeah.
And then this, he had a big bruise too. He was taking
Yeah.
it. And Ryan's death scene. Getting eaten alive by an
There's
alien.
Louis.
Ooh, the blood splatter.
Yeah.
I think we got that on like the third take or something.
So good.
Yeah, and if you were there with us, you would see that like we were all within like 2 to 3 feet radius of the
Yes.
actual shot because we were ready to like catch the blood and like clean it up and then reset. Because you basically in the walkway of like a bunch of people
Oh, yeah.
going to restaurants and
Yeah,
bars.
totally. Yeah, right around the corner is the whole promenade in Long Beach, and it was like we had no
And it was like
permits or anything. We're
Was it a
just
Saturday night?
splattering blood everywhere. I think it was like Friday or Saturday. It was busy. It was like really busy.
We're just like over here, like with blood and like fake aliens and
In Long
toys
Beach.
with a camera.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but those guys killed it that
Yeah.
night. It was like very cool. We shot that all in one night.
I like the
Oh, there's another run over the
Harry
alien
gets
shot.
slapped with blood as well. His whole face just has gravity to
Yeah,
it.
he's like really
Shit's going
nailed
down.
it.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
really, really good. Yeah.
yeah, he didn't complain. He just kept saying, "Let's just go harder." I was just like,
Yeah.
"Dude, you just look hurt in the last scene."
Yeah. And then, yeah, this is like on the peninsula in Long Beach, just down at the end. Again, no permits or whatever, just went out there and shot it. This, I think, yeah, James lighting with one tube.
Yeah,
Like-
just yep.
Right.
And I got this kind of cool effect by rolling the tube over to make it like the light come down for the energy shield, like just practical effect. And then this goo was on the ground at that bathroom for
So
a couple weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was
Well, and for the record, half of this movie was permitted, and
yeah, exactly.
and then we had pickups, which were Gorilla.
Yeah, totally. Yep, that face. I just saw some shit go down.
Yeah. Very good.
And then the match cut to
Oh, that was really cool.
Joseph to the house, which I think that was also in the script. Like, oh no, it wasn't, because that was I wrote those first scenes later, so that was not. That was just. I do remember shooting him running to match that though.
Yeah.
So he's gonna. So when this location was awesome, and our location rep was awesome for this place, but when we scouted it, this garage he goes into is empty, and like
Right.
we were gonna actually put the car in there and shoot the car in there and have these scenes of him going inside of there and putting like the shield generator in there, and then when we came back to the location, it was literally like an entire garage
It was
Yeah.
a storage
packed
unit.
So
with
storage walls in
furniture.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were
like-
they were reorganizing,
Yeah.
put everything in
Yeah.
it.
So we were debating, like, do we move it all out? We had decided not to. So all the car scenes are actually shot in Long Beach. Oh, we shot some there.
No, there
It
was
just
like
didn't
a-
really work.
There's like a
Yeah.
little kind of carport we faked a
Yeah.
little bit.
Right.
It just didn't really work.
Yeah.
So we reshot those in my garage in Long Beach, and then just faked this in and out. So if you look really closely on this, you can kind of see. I think I color corrected it enough, but you could just see there's like furniture right there. But again, awesome like practical effects from James with just the tube.
Yeah.
Well, Andrew was there too. So
Oh,
Andrew
that's right.
Burns,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Andrew
Yeah.
Burns was helping doing a lot of the lighting
Yeah.
Yeah, he
on
was
these
great.
2 days too.
He was
So,
great.
But it was cool like figuring this out. I think you just like faced the
Yeah.
tube away and then rolled it on.
Yep.
And then
Sorry, dude, your little dog. I don't know what it ate.
So for
They farted then walked. And then
There's
went out
no
again.
dog in here.
there's a dog that keeps
I
farting
see
throughout
no
this
dog.
podcast session. We're trying
Ay,
to
ay,
like pretend it's not happening.
So back at the same location where we started, it's like this shield's on to the orange light, sound effects.
And we had tubes going all up the hill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like
I'm so curious.
10 tubes.
Yeah.
I'm so
Yeah.
curious what it looks like to someone watching this for the first time. Like, what this location looks like.
Right. And then he's back at the house, like everything's like wrecked. I love this that we just basically put gaff taped a blanket over the TV. There's like a
Right.
Yeah.
flat screen TV back there. Also, I think this is during the day, right? Or no, this part
No,
was
this
at
is
night.
No,
night,
this-
yeah.
The other part was during the day,
Yeah.
inside the room.
Yeah.
But this is all Erica, like set design, like thrashing the whole place. We had another dead alien that he just looked at there. I cut past it though, because it just, without the goo on it and all that, just didn't look as good. This, I don't know how many people have caught. There's a sword and a dead alien on the bed right there.
I never. I didn't.
Jesus fucking Christ!
And then
Mikey,
scares him.
give me a heart attack!
Got a little strobe light happening there.
Flow.
See, this was funny in the theater because, like, all of a sudden we were because you just went back to the slap scene.
Right. Oh, yeah.
'Cause my friend Luke and I we just instantly. It was not funny on the small screen, but it was like you just go right back to the other moment.
That's awesome. See, that's the first time I've heard that. Like,
Yeah,
that
'cause,
people
like-
actually did connect
Like
that. That's cool.
Luke and I just instantly laughed. I'm like, that's funny. I've seen this. This is the 4th time, and this is the first time it hit.
Nice. Very cool. I'm
Yeah,
glad
that's
that people
good. I
got
like
that. Yeah. And then I remember we were just like,
Down.
Sorry, the dogs are
it's like
back.
dogs under the
Hey,
bed.
hey, hey! Ow,
snorting.
ow, ow, ow,
They're like licking each other.
ow! No dogs listen to me, do they?
That's okay.
Oh, you're my friend, huh?
All right.
You shut your
Go-to
fucking
mascot.
face. Calm down.
I ran out a while ago.
Yeah, well, great. I didn't know that. Love what you did to the place.
And they kept it mostly to the script, but there's some improvs in here that were really great.
Yeah, I love this through the door shot. It's great. Definitely feels like end of a hard day.
You missed the party, boy.
Looks like they did.
This scene played so much better in the theater. I mean, I'm not saying
It needs to be
like-
big. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll make a great story.
And then big fancy credits.
Yeah, I haven't seen the credits yet. They
Oh, you
get
haven't?
up.
Oh,
They're two
crazy.
Things, yeah.
Yeah, I just got a template and like wanted to, I don't know, the music's so big right
Yeah.
here. Just wanted to give everyone their own moment too.
I like them.
Yeah, I
They're
thought it was
awesome.
good. How did you feel when you like that ending? Like how did it getting it from raw to like finished?
Very cool.
Like how was it for you? Like editing it? You know?
Yeah, like.
Did you feel like this is how I wanted to finish, this is how I imagined it was gonna finish, or was it like it needs something, or like you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think like the main thing, and that's why I did the pickups and stuff, is like I wish I learned a lot about writing and how I could have like tied it together better. But like I think there were some compromises, but like I'm really happy with like how it came out. I think the story could be stronger, but it's fine. It's more of like a calling card, you know what I mean? So
What was this story like? How long have you had the story in your head?
quite a while. Like I had this like idea to do a short film of like where there's a time limit, like in a car chase. That's how it started. Is I wanted to do a car chase and I needed to put a time limit on it. And I thought like, what if a guy has to go out and get back before the sun goes down? Because then it would all look amazing light wise and all that. So it started with that, and then I started like, well, who are these people? So like, then I had the idea of like, oh, while he's driving back, I could have some flashbacks, and then that's how that was the general idea. And then
Did you do it in one go?
writing. Yeah, I did, and I think I maybe cleaned up a couple things, but like I wish that I would have gone back. I know why I didn't. It's because I was just like really anxious to just do another short film, and I thought like if I kept rewriting that it would just kill the momentum and we wouldn't actually get started on it. So that's why I think I finished it and then just plowed forward and wanted to shoot it right away. So
Yeah, I think that was like May or June of 2020.
yeah, well,
No,
yeah,
I
because
think
I
it
finished
was-
it during the pandemic.
Yeah.
the script.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember I took a day off and it was like Thursday, and then we decided to come back on Friday to work. So because we were just like super busy.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, I wrote a script. I'm like, you took a day off and wrote a script? You're like, well, you're like,
You only got braces at lunchtime.
oh, that's true. But sorry, that was an inside joke, people. But like, no, I just remember because we were working on like a big launch for one of our clients, and then I was like, I really need to take a day off because I think I had like 2 or 3 weeks straight of just prepping and finishing and all this stuff. And then Mike was like, well, I mean, you're not working. Who am I gonna email? And I was like, I know that's a joke, but yeah.
But yeah, the whole thing's like, I mean, it came together awesome considering how much we shot and how many cuts there are in that for a short film as well.
Yeah.
And it definitely
Especially-
needs a feature
Yeah.
around it.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think that? Because when we were at the San Jose AMC, they asked us on camera like, what was the hardest part of filming? Like for you, you said sound on like that. But is there another challenge? Because I have like thoughts about what was challenging, because it wasn't the actual mechanics of the actual filming that was.
Yeah, I mean, there's always challenges, but I think you forget. You remember the challenges that either are bad afterwards, or the ones that were more kind of not in your complete zone, like sound, as opposed to the other challenges are just part of the job, and then when it's done, it's like a relationship, isn't it? You just remember the good times. Why'd you break up?
Well, somebody said that they're like, oh, it's like giving birth. It's like super painful, and then you're like, oh, like this is great. We should do it again.
Right. So I've heard.
What about you, James? Like, what was either challenging or surprising or like, I don't know, notable?
I don't know. I felt like it was pretty easy for me. I don't know what you guys are complaining about. No, I think it's always a little bit of a challenge when you're working on a low budget and you're trying to do all the lighting and make everything work within a small amount of time. But I feel like overall, because the crew, there were challenges, but it wasn't a challenge to work because everybody was on board. Everybody wanted to make it happen.
Yeah, nobody on the team was painful to work with. Like it was very harmonious.
Yeah.
And like there were seasoned people and there were new people, like new to the game of just making something together.
Yeah.
But they were great attitudes.
Yeah,
everybody wanted. It seemed like everybody wanted to be there.
Yeah, everybody wanted.
Makes everything. It doesn't matter what kind of troubles you come into or challenges. When everyone wants to be there, then everybody's on board with trying to solve that.
Yeah.
I mean, the director was a little iffy.
Yeah, total dick.
Yeah.
I think one of the things, like, and you'll see in the BTS, is like that the showdown scene. It was super windy, and you can see it in Joseph's hair.
Yeah, you see his hair. Yeah.
But like the PAs and like Grip were standing on the C stands as weights because just the sandbags are just not enough.
Yeah.
So everybody was out there like anchoring the gear.
Just got to do what you have to do.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you? Like.
I think it was just like because we were actually had a real job.
Yeah.
And we were pushing through this, and I think what I remember is the 3 days of like the 2 days at the location, and then the third day at the Ortega Highway. Those 3 felt like I just had like 18 to 21 work hours.
Yeah.
Like each day was like a 20-hour day, because like we would get there before everyone with the RV like at 5 or 6 in the morning. Then we would set up, and then we're doing the day, right? And then you'd go back and we'd have like dinner. Then we'd like get together and do a quick huddle and like schedule the next day. What didn't we get, or what can we take out, or what is being adjusted? So it was like, your regular production, and then you're having a huddle with the producing or leading team, and then like resetting for next day. And then you have like 3 to 4 hours of sleep, and then you start again. And so that was hard. I think the third day I was hitting a wall.
Yeah.
Just because like your faculties are like exhausted.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah, and it's like you're going from like scene work to like paperwork, and with paperwork, it's like all these people are using this as roadmap for the next day. So everything has to either make sense. It has to make sense. You have to get on the same page with everybody. So that was like. To shut down, be quiet. Like you do that where you have to focus, where you're like, I'm now not a director. Right now I'm the first AD.
Right.
Like doing the shot list.
Yeah,
When you're doing the call sheet at night as well, and
and there's so there's like there's those deadlines because we're multi-departments.
Yeah.
There's that deadline of, okay, this needs to go out by 8 because I know some of the crew is going to sleep at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Or some of the crew is driving 2-3 hours away, so
Right.
they need to know what time they're leaving tomorrow morning.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like that pressure of like every single hour, who needs to know what now because something else changed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like constantly calculating.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one, I mean, thank you guys all for jumping on board on this. It wasn't like we got rich off this. So.
What an experience! So I mean,
Oh,
seeing the finished product.
Yeah, it's been really fun.
Yeah.
You never know what it's gonna be.
Yeah, I mean, even
Like,
just like the festival experience from this has been like so fun, and I know you guys have all gotten to go to one or another, a few or whatever, and it's just so cool, like to make something and then like see other people you don't even know watch it.
And that's what's interesting when you go to these things, and it's not just people who are in the business, so to speak, who go and see it. It's when people are like, oh yeah, there's film showing here, I thought I'd come and check this one out because I like the sound of it. You're like, oh, okay, Right, and it feels, oh yeah, look, you're coming to see this. This is good. Yeah, like kind of nice. You know?
Or like some people when you say, oh, it's an independent film, like, and then they're like, oh, this looks like a movie, guys.
Yeah.
That was like probably which is a funny one, right? It's like the most common feedback I've gotten from people watching this is like, it looks like a real movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, well, I guess, yeah, I guess at festivals there are movies that don't look like movies, but they're still movies. So like,
Yeah.
Right,
Like
right.
everything comes in a different form and caliber and like production value, and it feels different. But in the theaters was amazing. I know I keep saying in the theaters, but it was like you hear the vibrations and the
Yeah.
sounds,
Right.
and it's like your senses are feeling the movie differently.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It flies by in the theater. It
Yeah.
goes by so quick.
It moves
so,
super fast.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like very,
If
very
you
cool.
aren't there, like my best friend, because she was pregnant at the time, went to the bathroom. She was like, oh, the movie before us was, she was like, oh, they're just going to have long credits. I'm going to go. I'm like, please don't go. Okay, she's leaving. And then she came back like not even 3 minutes later. She missed the first 30 seconds. She's like, what? Where am I?
Oh.
It's like, man.
I think like we'll end it on this, but the first time we got to see it in the theater was San Jose AMC, which is your hometown theater, which is
Ooh.
very cool.
It was super cool because it was the closest theater next to where I took my first film production class ever.
Yeah, it's so cool. Like,
Yeah.
but what was also hilarious about that showing was,
Oh. The
we
documentary.
like a really somber documentary played right before us, and it was great. It was really
It was
good.
an hour and a half.
Do you remember the name of the director? Like,
Richard.
it's like a documentary on immigration, and it was great, old school, like, and like very cool. Like,
he was a director for
Yeah,
National Geographic
totally,
for a while,
yeah.
so he's like legit like
it's like
documentary
really well
dude.
done.
Yeah.
Really well done. Ends on this crazy, quiet, somber note, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe our film is playing after this, because it's like everyone's like, oh, that's a lot to think about.
Yeah.
And there's no fade in on this
There's
thing.
no-
It's just like,
There's no host. There's
Yeah.
no intermission.
yeah, it's
Like,
just like
here we go.
fade out
Yeah.
and boom. Like,
Wow.
it was just like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, it was I mean, you addressed it really well because, like, when we got into the Q&A, like, you said, thank you, everyone, for, like, bearing with the tone change.
Yeah, it was like,
Yeah, pick your playlist.
Right?
People, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
he was great.
Yeah, he's
That
cool.
director of the other movie was really great because he kind of also kind of set us up in a really nice way, too. He's like, all right, so you guys did, like, a Hollywood movie, and then, like, after my, like, super, you know, he was being like, you know, humble about
Nice.
his movie, but then he said something really cool, which I think a lot of people say, like, it's cool to see that you had an older main character.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. I got asked that a lot, and like I didn't even think
I
about
noticed
it.
that in when I read
Yeah.
the script, I'm like, I think it's cool that this is an older couple that you're choosing to.
Yeah.
Because then when you're watching independent film, you haven't seen usually the filmmakers, so you don't know what
Yeah.
they look like.
Right.
And then they make the story, and sometimes you go, those people, huh? They did this. Like,
Right.
that's an interesting. They're younger than the characters that they're making.
Yeah. It's basically like how do I get to work with Clint Eastwood without working with Clint Eastwood?
Totally. No, totally. I always think of Clint Eastwood with the showdown
Yeah,
scene.
absolutely. All right. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you,
That's
guys.
been
Awesome
really fun.
film.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Fun.
audience,
Thanks.
if you
Yeah,
still
thanks.
hung on.
Thanks YouTube. This is a long one, so hopefully you enjoy it.
Yeah, we'll,
All right.
we'll get it down next time.
All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.